John and Darren's office chairs provided by GT Omega Racing. You can check them out at gtomegaracing.com. Welcome to This Week Inside Sim Racing. Wouldn't be the same without some technical difficulties. We almost had to reboot, but we didn't. This is the March 30th edition. I'm Darren Ganji, and right over there is John Sable. And the reason for that is we're going to be introducing somebody here in a minute. But on today's show, we're going to be talking about the issues with the F1 content and Automobilista. Got some RaceRoom news, McLaren 650S GT3, and the new supersized grids that you're going to be able to do. We've got some Assetto Corsa news, rFactor 2, Toban Raceway Park, and Howston Dissenter released on rFactor 2. Live for Speed patch 0.6N. And we're going to be talking about a shifter knob for American Truck Simulator. They had a Kickstarter campaign. We're going to talk about that. Going to talk about sim racing centers. We had a poll last week, and then some people reached out to us about those. The recent happenings here in the studio. I'm going to talk about the new poll question. And before we get to all of that content, we have someone new that's coming on board here at Inside Sim Racing, and we got a little quick video clip. Going to introduce him and then bring him on the show. So, John, why don't you fire up that video? Okay, so we got everything working good over there, John? Look good? Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I can hear you. So, if you guys haven't guessed, we have the Aussie Stig now as part of the team here at Inside Sim Racing. So I'd like to introduce, we know him as Mark Puck, also know him as the Aussie Stig. So Mark, welcome to the show, and welcome to the team.
G'day, Darren. G'day, Darren. G'day, John. Thanks very much. Glad to be here.
And it's great to have you. So you guys may be familiar with some of the Aussie Stig's work, or like I said, as we know him, Mark Puck. But Mark is a great rider. He's very passionate about sim racing, and he's going to be doing some hardware reviews for us. Also going to be he's going to be basically taking over the blogging duties, and going to be doing some European correspondent work. So he'll be at the Sim Racing Expo for us this year, and lots of other stuff. So again, Mark, welcome to the show and the team. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself? Let's start with, how long have you been sim racing?
How long have I've been sim racing? Since 1999. And in 2000, my first steering wheel was a thrusty Formula One replica wheel from Michael Schumacher's World Championship winning car.
Oh, cool.
I had that for quite a number of years. People on the site might have seen my self-made rig. I had that wheel on that rig for a long time before I finally went over to a G27. So that rig is probably more than 15 years old now.
Oh, no kidding. And that was like a hyper sim or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was based on a hyper sim, but I made it to fit my own body shape.
Oh, very cool. And now you've transitioned into that play seat I see sitting behind you. That's a Sensation Pro, right?
Yeah, this one here behind me, that's a fantastic rig. Absolutely, one of the best rigs I've tried.
Yeah, and I read your review about it, and you've told me how much you've enjoyed it. So,
oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about like what you like as far as racing goes? I mean, what's your favorite form of racing? You know, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm a big Formula One fan, and actually most classes of motor racing, as long as they go around left and right corners.
Don't like, what do you mean you don't like oval racing?
It's not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
To be diplomatic.
No, that's definitely fair enough.
Yeah, I like anything that goes fast, really. So even Indy cars are great to watch. I do like sim racing wise, I love to race in the Oculus Rift, as you well know. I don't even like looking at a monitor anymore. That's how good the Oculus is for me while I'm using it. And yeah, further, I have such a great opportunity now to try great sim racing equipment that yeah, I'm spoiled for choice.
I can definitely relate to that.
My favorite, my favorite wheel is the AccuForce Pro.
Oh, yes, I know. I'm very familiar with that. So,
Yeah.
you also love Nordschleife, am I correct?
Oh yeah, favorite track. Thousands of laps I've done there.
Yeah, you're a big ring fan.
Yes, absolutely. I can drive that for hours.
Yeah, I hear you. We're fans of that track too. As a matter of fact, John's doing a video comparing RaceRoom's version to iRacing and Assetto Corsas right now.
That should be really interesting to see. I like the textures of Assetto Corsa, and I like the colours of iRacing. And RaceRoom I haven't had a chance to try yet, but I'll be looking forward to that.
Cool. Yeah, it's a really cool version.
Yeah.
They did a good job on it. So that's pretty much going to wrap up our introduction of Mark. Again, Mark's going to be coming on board right away. He's going to start blogging for us. He's going to be doing some hardware reviews, video and written. And anyway, we're really happy to have you on board, Mark, and looking forward to having you as part of the team for a very long time, indefinitely.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's great to have
very
somebody,
excited.
overseas to so they can get hardware for us over there, attend some of these events. And actually, before we go too, you have a lot of invites to check out some, not really sim centers, but places that have some pretty high-end motion stuff too.
That's correct. I've been invited to Portugal to test a brand new product there that's being released shortly. And just yesterday I was invited to Geneva to test a new motion sim rig that's going to be released there.
Cool.
And in between those, there's also hopefully a trip to the UK to test out a real racing car.
Well, that'll be awesome. We would definitely like
Yeah.
that on the show. And then on top of that, why don't you tell our viewers some of the hardware that you're going to have to review. So right behind you, you got a set of Ricmotech pedals.
Yes, right behind me is a set of the Real Gear Ricmotech pedals. Fantastic looking things, fully hydraulic. And in addition to that, I have a ProSim U T1000 3 degrees of feel motion rig that I'm going to be reviewing. And what else have I got? Oh, I've got the Hosingfeld.
Hosingfeld.
I can pronounce it. Hosingfeld. Sequential shifter, which I'm also looking forward to using. I have used it briefly before, but now I get to try it out properly and on my own sim rig, so that'll be great.
Awesome. Well, it'll be great to have those reviews on Inside Sim Racing, and again, we're really looking forward to working with you, Mark. And thank you for taking the time this evening to join us.
You're welcome.
And you guys are going to be seeing him a lot more on the channel, and you're going to be seeing his blogs and his hardware reviews. And anyway, we're really proud to have him on board. And again, Mark, thank you. Or Aussie Stig, he likes to be known as the Aussie Stig.
Thanks, mate.
Anyway, thanks again for joining us, and we're really looking forward to working with you.
Cheers, Darren. Cheers, John. Thank you for the opportunity, and I won't let you down.
I know you won't, buddy. All right, man. Mark, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
So,
cheers, mate.
There you guys go. Another new addition to the team, Mark Puck, and again, we're really looking forward to having him as part of the team. So we're gonna do a quick transition here. We're gonna run a video of me driving American Truck Simulator. We just posted that video last night. We're gonna get John over here in his seat and get on with the show. So here's that video. We don't need to. Uh-oh. My bed is red. Hopefully I don't fall asleep here. People are saying we didn't need to use the clutch, but the way I have it set up, I need to use the clutch. Feeling the bumps in the road through the seat, which is really cool. I'm speeding. I better be careful. Got the Jake brake set up, or exhaust brake, to automatically engage. And I am low on fuel and tired. Please don't fall asleep. You know what's so cool about this game? I mean, there's a lot more to it. Actually, I can't even call it a game. This is a true simulation. And what's so cool, there's so much more to it than just driving from point A to point B. You know, you buy trucks. Uh-oh. There's just so much more to it, you know, between buying your own trucks, you can take jobs with other trucks. And my diamond plate's rattling here a little bit. You can manage a full business, which I think is really cool. I'm going to turn off the lights here. You get a ticket for not running with your lights on. And I hope that rest stop's coming up here. Yep, it's coming up. Should have enough fuel to make there for sure. Hopefully I don't fall asleep before I get there, though. Oh, I'm totally speeding, too. I'm just asking for a ticket. Got my cruise control set up here.
Okay, and welcome back to the show. And, well, I've magically appeared.
You did.
And
voila!
Voila! I'm here. And Mark is
not here.
Not here.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Mark again for joining us and being part of the team. I mean, we're both looking forward to having him as part of the team. And I know you're really looking forward to it because he's going to take some of the load off of you. Because John, as some of you may have known, is our primary blogger. And now Mark is going to be our primary blogger. So that's going to free John up to do some other cool stuff and focus on more of the stuff behind the scenes for the show. And good times, good stuff here at Inside Sim Racing.
It is. I'm just gonna have to like wipe the little tear that I have away. It's like I've been blogging for over 2 years now, I guess. 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. No. Some part of me is like happy so I can go work on other things, but yeah, always do enjoy the blogging.
Well, you can always do more if you want.
Well, let's not go that far.
All right, so on to some news. First up, this is some pretty big news. And, you know, this has actually been going on for quite a while in sim racing, where F1, companies like Ferrari, Porsche, basically go out and protect their license.
Yes. And
it happened in a big way with Automobilista this week.
Yes, and we have the statement from Renato from Automobilista. And we said last week we were hoping to have Renato on the show this week, but things came up. I don't even know if it was related to this. But I'll read the statement here, and it says, the Steam store page for Automobilista has been taken down due to a copyright infringement claim which had been submitted to Valve. As is known, Automobilista packages a variety of officially licensed cars and brands alongside fictionalized, original created content. The claim in question does not make any specific references to content present in Automobilista supposedly infringed upon a party's copyright until it does, or belief in that merit. And we've taken appropriate measures to resolve the issue ASAP. But in accordance to Valve's policy, the process may take a few days to be completed. In the meantime, we'll continue progress with development on Automobilista and intend to release another early access update shortly, and the game is available for purchase from the membership packages from our forum store. So, yeah, I mean, essentially, and if you haven't quite, we kind of jumped into there if you might not be familiar, but essentially, I think it was last week, the Formula One, FOM, they got the managing group. They started kind of clinching down on people about Formula One mods.
Race department got hit.
Yeah, race department got hit.
Well, in backing up here on this story, 2 or 3 years ago, they hit me up because somebody posted. They had some posts in our rFactor section in the forum that had images of a Formula One mod, and then links to get that mod. And they contacted me, basically sent me a cease and desist saying, take that stuff down. That's copyright infringed material, and you can't be promoting that. Which we weren't promoting that, but just by somebody posting it in our forum, they came after me. So I didn't mess around. I took that stuff straight. I took it down right away. So anyway, again, this isn't anything new, but now they're like really coming down with an iron fist. And race department got hit, and now Automobilista. And it makes me wonder, is any other manufacturer or developer going to get hit? Like rFactor 2 has, and I'm wondering what content it affected on Automobilista. I'm assuming the F1 car only.
Yeah, the F1 car, and then did it have something to do with because in Automobilista and Game Stock Car, like the liveries for the Formula Extreme are pretty much the Formula One grid. The teams are named after the real world Formula One cars. And yeah, we were talking last night, it's like, where does that line get drawn between you trying to copy, as the phone rings, and between you trying to copy and you just trying to do a version of like an open wheel car? So like, for example, RaceRoom, they have the FR2, which is kind of based off the GP2 car. So is that infringing on something or not? So I don't know.
Thank you for the donation, Travis. Double time.
Nice.
He actually comes up on the screen there too, on our chat screen.
Nice.
Travis, thanks for the donation. By the way, if you guys want to help out the team, buy us some doubles when we go to Dallas, you can click up here, right around in here on that I, and there's a way to donate to the show, and we'd very much appreciate it. Sorry for changing subjects here, but anyway.
Yeah, where does that line in the sand get drawn between what's an interpretation of an open wheel car or a stock car or whatever, and what's you copying it and you are causing punitive damages to the license holder because people are buying your game instead of buying the officially licensed game?
I think it goes beyond that though too. I think like companies like Ferrari and Porsche and obviously FOM, Formula One, are very particular about how their content or license is portrayed. They need to be, everything needs to be perfect. So I know like the Codemasters guys, every year when they're coming out with their title, they're going back and forth with Formula One and making sure every little thing is perfect. Ferrari with Thrustmaster, I know in talking to them, they are always going back and forth, making sure. Matter of fact, we did a promotion a long time ago with the F430 wheel, and we had, I don't remember exactly what it was, whether it was a banner or something, and the Ferrari prancing horse was not perfectly aligned the way it's supposed to be, and they made us fix it.
Wow.
So they are really particular about, their image. And on one hand, I understand it. Someone was saying in chat, it's free promotion. But they don't necessarily want that free promotion.
Yeah.
They want it promoted exactly the way, they want their particular brand and image portrayed.
Yes.
I think a lot of it has to do with liveries, too.
Yeah, I think so. And also, there's a lot of different brands. I know, like, one of the mods over there at Race Department got pulled down was showing the Martini livery for the Williams, where they can't do that in a video game because it's alcohol sponsorship. So, yeah, and like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Ugh, easy for me to say. At one point you're kind of like, well, look, this is Automobilistas coming out with a quality F1 title. This should get F1 fans excited and all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, someone come out with something that's kind of junk and reflect bad.
Which has happened.
There's
garbage mods out there.
There's been a lot of Formula One mods over the years. Like
Yes.
rFactor days, there's been so many different mods, and they're not all quality. And then, yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, they hold. That's why a lot of the titles you see with officially licensed content.
Yep.
So you don't have this. So I go back and forth. I think Formula One, for a PR perspective, it would probably be smarter if they let a lot of this stuff go, especially when it's stuff like liveries, because it doesn't necessarily impact like their dollar amount. Like a livery of a Codemaster game, that doesn't monetarily affect them. But They have a license to protect, and if we didn't have, before I came with Inside Sim Racing, I was doing business consulting with tangible assets, intellectual properties, trademark, copyrights, patents, trade secrets. That stuff has to be protected.
It does.
If it's not protected, then anyone can just copy anyone, and we look at all the cars that are copied in China.
Yeah. Well, that would be like you and I talked about this yesterday. That'd be like somebody taking our intellectual properties or our show and then republishing it and monetizing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be fair to us.
Yeah. It wouldn't be fair if someone ripped Automobilista's car and released it as like an rFactor mod.
Yes, that's a really great point, and that directly relates to what we're talking about here. And somebody said, Curb Searcher said, why don't they invest in Sims? And I'm, talking about F1.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line is, they're not investing anything in the Sims. The Sims or the companies are having to pay them to have that content.
Yes.
So companies like Automobilista, rFactor 2, they don't have enough money or reach to get that license. Mm-hmm. Where Codemasters has sold millions and millions of copies of that F1 title since 2010, and that's why they have the license, and their Formula One's making money on that.
Yeah.
Just like Ferrari. That's why people ask, why isn't a Ferrari in iRacing? Because it costs a lot of money to get that licensed content.
Exactly.
Porsche, same thing with them being exclusive in EA. It's because EA's paying them big bucks and nobody else is, and that's an exclusive license. Where Ferrari will license their content to, it's in Forza, it's in Assetto Corsa.
It's available for the right price.
Gran Turismo, exactly, but you got to pay for it. So anyway, iRacing was asking, what about iRacing's F1? They licensed it from McLaren.
Yes.
So it's only the McLaren that you're seeing in F1. You're not seeing the Ferrari, you're not seeing the Red Bull team.
You're not seeing the whole organization of all the teams and calling it F1.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a slippery, topic. And like I said...
Well, like Assetto Corsa with the Lotus.
Yes.
That's not even a true, like the F1 car, that's like a... the general public can buy that car and drive it. So it's not even the true F1 Lotus, which Lotus isn't even in F1 anymore.
Yeah. Which, that's a major licensing thing. Lotus, they make like 99% of their money from licensing.
Yep.
It seems like.
Well, Ferrari, it's well known that they make their money on licensing.
Yes.
Supposedly they don't make that much money selling cars. And running an F1 team is expensive, so...
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's going to wrap up that topic.
Yeah. No, I think we've kind of beaten that enough. I mean, it's just...
It's a big topic, though, and a lot of people are upset about it, but I mean, I understand.
And in terms of Automobilista, I mean, hopefully this gets all figured out and then get back on the Steam store. Like Renato said, you can still play it. I fired it up last night, and you can still play the sim, but if you go and you search Automobilista on Steam, it just doesn't show up right now. So
I was wondering if it was going to affect the classic car, like one of my favorite sim cars. Basically it's Ayrton Senna's McLaren.
Yeah, and I don't know where the reach is on those type of licenses either. Because I know like when Lotus 49 showed up in iRacing and somewhere else, I think they went and they scanned it from like a private collector, and I don't know if they were just paying Lotus. It's these things over the years, the rights and who owns what can change from hands to hand. So, but at the end of the day, you got to pay someone. So before we go on to our next news item, one thing I forgot to mention at the top of the show. First off, if you're watching, appreciate a like. And second, we have 2 poll questions this week that you might have noticed up in the top left-hand, right-hand corner on your screen there, along with the funding page we have. And this is kind of we asked 2 weeks ago, what wheel brand are you using? And then me and Darren started talking about it more, and we talked about how much has maybe the customers' preferences has changed over the years. Because, we thought probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was mostly a Logitech market. So based off of that, we have 2 new poll questions to try to do a little bit of research and kind of all find out together, a little market research here. And the first poll question, I believe, is what wheel were you running in March 2014? And then the second one is what wheel were you running in March 2011? And I have we have Thrustmaster, Logitech, Fnatic as a choice, and I also add Mad Catz and Microsoft. Even though I'm not sure how many of you guys were running it then. But anyway, oh, I forgot to add. I was also going to add a feature saying you weren't racing then. Oh well. But those are your different options, and yeah, just kind of curious to see how the market has fluctuated over the years.
That was an interesting poll. Sorry, I got some Q&A going. And by the way, you guys may see some stuff in the chat that we don't necessarily want you to see. And if anybody gets out of hand, we're going to ban them. But you're going to see blocked content, like I'm seeing an F-bomb dropped in chat right now. Mm-hmm. So, sorry. We usually log in with a separate account that doesn't show the blocked content. So, anyway, just give you guys a heads up, and you might want to cover your children.
Cover little one's eyes.
Yeah. Grabbing your questions. By the way, back to the last topic, and this Michael Wollenstein. Sorry if I'm sure I butchered your name, but anyway, said, what about trading paints?
Trading paints
they could come after them.
Trading paints is an odd circumvent of that rule. Because they're a third party not associated with iRacing. But yeah, I don't know. I've always wondered about that. That is kind of interesting. You know, could individual sponsors be like, you know, there's my brand in this game?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean F1 could come after them. I mean, if there's someone does a Red Bull livery or the Williams livery on the McLaren, you know, they could potentially shut it down.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I just asked Tony from iRacing. I assume they've thought about some of that stuff out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I do know when paint schemes came in, there was something where it couldn't be done through iRacing. It had to be a third party. So
well, in the Williams,
that's how it exists.
When the Williams BMW,
the Williams F1 car.
Exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't. It just came out with the Williams only livery.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and just basic.
And just or solid color.
You could not paint the car in game.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, back on track here. And speaking of track, RaceRoom, you can do 99 cars now.
Yeah, RaceRoom do 99 cars.
99 problems.
99 problems, but the Nordschleife ain't one. But first up, two news items this week from RaceRoom. The first up was the announcement of the license of this beautiful car, the McLaren 650S GT3, and this, I think they announced this last Thursday, which was right after we had JF Chardon from Sector 3 on the show last week in an interview. And the interesting thing, he kind of hinted at this, because he said how the GT3 content is starting to get a little old. They have new cars, and they're going to have new GT3 content coming, and then boom, here we go. And even today I saw they kind of teased they're going to have, I believe, 4 new GT3 cars coming out. I think this is the first of them to kind of fill out that series, and like I said, just pretty much bring it up to date, since there's pretty much a new generation of cars the last couple of years.
That is one badass looking car.
That's badass. I always loved the MP4. It was one of my favorite sim cars. Used to run it weekly in iRacing, the series, and yeah, I love this car. So far it's only an Assetto Corsa, and I have driven it a number of times, and I love watching on replays. I just love everything about it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
So, and then in other news that Darren was alluding to, RaceRoom Sector 3 announced yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that you can now run grids of up to 100 cars offline at the moment.
I'm wondering how that is going to affect, CPU performance, frame rates, especially on a giant track like Nordschleife.
Look at that. We talk about RIP headphone users. This is RIP CPU. But yeah, so the amount of cars you can run fluctuates from track to track. It depends on how many pit stalls the track has. So Spa and Nordschleife sound like they can handle the full 100 cars, and other tracks probably, I don't know if there's any other ones that can handle 100 cars. They'll have smaller grids. And if you set up a custom championship season in single player mode, the min and max, let's see, I believe it was the max number of cars will depend, the min and max number of cars will depend on how many pit stalls of the tracks you choose. But Yeah, coming in single player mode, and they say they want it. It's going to come in multiplayer, but they honestly haven't had a good way to beta test it because they just don't have that many beta testers, or that many they can get in the room at one time.
Yeah, that's
a big test. So they're going to be doing some live testing in the near future, where they'll probably ask people in the forums and stuff to come on out and let's try to break this thing.
I see it getting broken because, I mean, that's a lot of cars to have on the track at the same time.
Yeah, one thing they mentioned is that it'd probably be a good idea to limit the amount of cars that are shown, so you can change that down to like maybe you only draw like the 20 or 30 cars in front of you and kind of reduce some of that load, at least graphically. But CPU-wise, even if you don't have a physical car showing, the game still has to know that there's cars out there. So, yeah, it's gonna be a load, especially on DX9.
Apex V-Gear, 100 cars, 5 frames per second.
Slideshow.
I mean, I'm hoping for the best. I mean, I'm hoping
Yeah.
it all works out. By the way, I'm grabbing your guys' questions.
Oh, perfect.
So adding those to the later on the show.
I like Paul put here Macau. Yeah, I'm not sure how many pit stalls are at Macau, but oh my god, that track's
Monaco
already.
would be gridlock.
Oh my god, yeah, they both would be gridlock. I mean, Macau has that corner where it's that 180 degree around like the wall.
Yeah, that would be
How do
nuts.
I don't know how you parking lots. So it's a cool feature. I mean, we'll see how well it works in practice. You know, maybe it's something that they put out now and work to get it working well. But we'll see.
Look at iRacing. They opened the grids up to 60 cars.
Yes.
And where you share pit stalls, but you haven't seen any official races with that.
No, and I'm kind of curious, like when they do the race at Nordschleife this summer, the 24-hour race, if they're going to have like 60 plus cars. I think it's like 64.
People are asking for it.
I think that'd be cool.
It would be cool.
I'm not sure where, I mean, they mentioned RaceRoom that they can run 100 cars at Nordschleife. I'm just not sure where the pit stalls are at, because you only have so many on the GP circuit. So I'm not sure.
Good question.
But
Lots of sharing, maybe.
yes.
Next up, Assetto Corsa 1.5. So is that a release? I didn't see that news. Is that?
So this is leading up to the 1.5, which will be released tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there's a whole bunch of information. Here's just some screenshots going. You saw the first 3 cars that will be coming out. We talked about them last week. Here is a image of Valunga. Ugh.
Vallelunga.
We'll go with that. I always have such tough time pronouncing that track, where they've actually have a pre-2005 version of the track coming that includes the turn Trincia? We'll go with
Trincia.
that. That was originally eliminated, but a boatload of updates to talk about. F-mod sound improvements, including distance and reverberation and replays, and distance from the camera to the car. Graphics, they have processing improvements for the instruments and car details, better shader materials, backfires, and that's actually all from work of actually working on the console version. So work they did on the console, going back upstream and actually improving the PC version of the game. So there you go, guys. It's not all, console isn't all bad. There's some new camera views that I saw in one of the images there, which let me pull back up to the studio here, since we got a bazillion things to go through. I'm kind of curious about that. They said they have, because of the console development, they developed 2 interior views. They essentially have the Forza I'm in the back seat view, and now they got the on the dash, kind of how we would normally drive the title as sim racers, and actually wanted to see what you're doing. And it's interesting because when I hear that, I kind of go, oh, so is the console version not going to be able to adjust your seat? Because I mean, the views don't really matter in the PC.
Yeah, we talked about that. It would be nice if you could.
Yeah, so I'm hoping you can.
I'd like to see that in Forza. I'd like to see that in just
everything.
About every title. I mean, I think that's crucial, especially now that everything's going more on the hardcore side of things, even on the console.
Yeah.
Titles like Assetto Corsa. Project Cars, you can.
Project Cars, I believe, is the only one still.
It is.
And we'll see what Dirt Rally does, because Dirt Rally implemented it on the PC, and we'll see when the console release comes out next week if you can adjust it.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to get one of the Q&A questions out of, you just mentioned Dirt Rally. Redline Rossi asks, are we going to have Dirt Rally on the console? Yes. As a matter of fact, we got a copy being sent to Billy to do some test drives, and then we will have copies here as well. So, as a matter of fact, we're going to do our complete review on Dirt Rally and include the PC, PS4 PS4 and the Xbox One versions.
That's right.
Wrap them all into one.
Get your popcorn ready. Our show. Hopefully not.
I'm sure it's going to be a long one, but yeah.
Back to Assetto Corsa, and then they came out with a whole bunch of information today about new things that they're looking to add. The tire compounds are getting quite a bit new physics, pretty much just new physics adjustment to the tire model. Pit stops. Pit stops are coming to single player mode. You can change tires, add fuel, fix damage. The damage model sounds like it's going to be updated a little bit to 1.5 now. Damage to your body is going to have aero effects on the car. I also saw when you're racing online multiplayer, you can now visually see other people's damage. So that's nice. That's something I was kind of like, I didn't remember that not being on, but I guess that was the case. Let's see. There will now be daylight progression when racing in multiplayer, so that's cool. Because the daylight progression, I love racing at Spa and Assetto Corsa at like 6 o'clock at night or in the afternoon, and you get that low sun. I love while you're driving, that sun continues to get lower and lower and more in your eyes, so I love that effect. I'm glad it's coming to multiplayer. AI improvements, everyone drink.
Is that a new drinking game?
I think AI improvements should be a new drinking game especially for Assetto Corsa, but probably for all titles with AI. And then Kunos announced stuff that's happening beyond the 1.5 release tomorrow, which, by the way, that's a lot of stuff. I'm looking forward to this update quite a bit. A lot of things coming, but beyond 1.5, they announced that they have a Mazda license now, with a couple cars coming. Let me see where I got this here. There it is. Let me pull up the picture and go live. So they have the Mazda RX, I believe it's the RX-7, coming to the title. They also have the 2015. That's
old school.
That is old school. They got the MX-5, the new MX-5 coming as well. They showed a preview of that. They also have the 787B, which is probably one of the most popular mod cars in Assetto Corsa. Personally, I'm wondering if they're going to maybe just take over that mod that they've done in the past.
That's, we had Aussie Stig on the show. That's like one of his favorite cars to drive.
Yeah.
Period. In all of sim racing is that mod on Assetto Corsa.
Yeah. So that's going to be an officially licensed car. And then those cars are going to be included in the Japanese pack, which is going to be released before May 18th. That's what they're saying. Or by or before May 18th. And some of the other cars in that, let's see, MX-5, RX-7, got that. The Nissan 370Z Nismo, I believe that's the road-going car. The GTR 34, the Toyota Supra, and two versions of the Toyota AE86, which, if I believe, is the prototype car. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the LMP1 car, which is supposed to be coming. So, yeah, and so you got that coming, and then also in pack news, while I get my notes straight here.
And sorry, I'm fixing
Our thing all broken?
It's acting weird, our script.
Okay. And then on June 3rd, when the console version come out, there'll be a new pack with and they didn't give a name for this. I mean, we've kind of heard about this in the past. I thought it was like if you purchased the console early, you got this pack, but it includes the Ferrari 488 GTB, the FXXK, which is the Ferrari that's kind of the cover art car for the console version, the Praga R, and the Audi A1 S1. So, that's what it was. Those cars will also be available on Steam. So, that's not only that is a pre-purchase pack for the console, but if you want to get those cars on Steam, they'll be available as well. Didn't specify if they're going to be available for free or that's going to be a DLC, but they'll be available. And then let's see what else they got. They have 30 more new cars in development. The A1 ring is in development, and they're hoping to have it out by July 3rd for the F1 race. So the Red Bull ring, essentially. And
PC and console? Because the console releases June now, right?
Yes. Yeah, so that's coming for the PC. I assume for both it's going to become available.
Free?
I know it's free on I believe it's free on the PC. I believe. But I'm not entirely sure. We know that track is coming. Not sure about the pricing structure on that one. And then, let's see, that's physics. So something about, they're working on all-wheel drives, working with a brake manufacturer to improve some braking stuff and some all-wheel drive performance. They have a quick menu, which can enable users to do functions in the car without resorting to a mouse or keyboard, which I'm still not entirely sure what they mean by that. And then, lastly, they talk about VR, which I see some VR talk going on here. And that's kind of been a topic in the community because essentially they said, Assetto Corsa said, we want to support VR and Oculus, but they've changed their SDK so much and involves so much work to pretty much rebuild it all from the ground up that don't expect for it to be coming like anytime soon.
Yeah, from a software developer standpoint, it makes sense to wait until it's final.
Yes.
Versus otherwise they're just going to keep chasing their tail and spend a bunch of development time on the latest SDK. Mm-hmm. Versus waiting until it's done. So anyway, it makes sense. It makes sense for them to wait.
Yeah. So they kind of said like at the earliest end of summer. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a wait.
And just had a question from Mark. Oh no, wait, it was from Tom Jones. Is that the singer?
I guess.
About are we getting a Vive and an Oculus? We want to. We're going to be reaching out to them and see if we can get one to check out, or both. We'd like to check both of them out.
Yes, we'd definitely like to check both of them out. Both seem promising, and we'll see where the sims are at in terms of supporting it, since now the Oculus is officially out.
So we done with Assetto?
We are finally done with Assetto.
I'll take the next one.
Thank God.
You've been going long here, and I've been like zoning over here trying to figure out the deal with our our script, and then grabbing a lot of your questions. I've got a bunch of questions from you guys for after the news portion. So Toban Raceway and the Howston Dissenter released on rFactor 2. Do we have the Billy's test drive on that?
Sure. There's some images, and here's Billy driving.
So this is one of Billy's latest test drives, which Billy's here in chat with us, I believe, but yeah, he is. He said this was a blast, and I've been meaning to get this booted up in the Stage 4 and give it a try, but it looks like a lot of fun.
It does, yeah. I haven't been able to try it either because I've been doing a lot of actually RaceRoom here recently with Nordschleife, but yeah, it looks great.
It does. It's like old school Trans Am car, and it's like a combo of like people are calling it like a Ford Maverick. Some saying it's got Camaro, like some of it looks like a Camaro. I think it does. Like from that view, it looks like a Maverick to an extent.
Yeah, I see the Maverick. I do see that. But yeah, it was funny. I seen a lot of comments on YouTube and just in the on our website, like, how do you drive this thing? This thing is so hard to drive.
It should. I mean, that thing should be a beast. I mean, those things don't handle like modern race cars. I mean, and it's like a stock car to an extent. Yeah.
Well, and they called it a stock car when it was released, but I mean, I think both you and Billy kind of noted it does look a little more like a Trans Am-like car. But
someone's DH Paradox saying he tried the Dissenter in oval form as well, and it was fun to drive.
Yeah, they say it can get up to 185 miles per hour in the draft, and I'm kind of curious what that would be like. But Billy here is driving the medium version of Toban, which is 1.9 miles long. The longest version is only 2.5, which for a road course is actually pretty small. But as you see, it's a pretty tight track. I mean, it's almost looks like a track that the V8 supercars go to a lot, where they run kind of these tight little tracks that can beat and bang on. So yeah, I want to see some V8s out here on this track. But no, just both pretty cool new pieces of content.
Definitely. Got a cool Q&A question. Christopher, I just got your question, and we will answer that. So anyway, yeah, I got to give that a try. I definitely got to give that a try.
So yeah, especially in Stage 4 with how much the back end kicks out in that car, you're going to be constantly kicking out.
Which is awesome.
It is.
So let's see, what else we got? So next up, we got Live for Speed, I think, right?
Yep, Live for Speed came out with patch 0.6N, and to be honest, not a huge track or patch. I think the biggest thing you see is what you're seeing right now, which is the keyboard on screen for VR users, Which another thing we saw that we're like, that's cool. How does that work?
Yeah, we were thinking that too. It's like, okay, you got that on screen, but you're going to need your mouse to, I'm assuming, to click on the letters, which would be kind of time consuming to type stuff out. But hey, I mean, I think it's cool. It's cool to see that Live for Speed is still alive, and kicking, and that they're making updates to it. And they're a little behind the times as far as how it looks graphically. Talking about the Stage 4, I booted that up on the Stage 4 the other day, and the physics still hold up on that title. And it was definitely ahead of its time, but it'd be great to see them get up to current graphic. I was talking about the frame rates I was running. I maxed everything out in triples, and I was getting like 600 frames a second.
Perfect.
But yeah, they need to update their graphics engine. I don't even know if that thing's DX9.
I don't know.
Maybe like DX8 or whatever was before that, DX7.
I hope it is. But they, as far as some other things from the update, they have multiplayer. They have a new demo filter at the bottom that lists different screens. Let's see here. They smoothed some steering, brake, throttle input in multiplayer replay. So I guess the replays were running kind of jerky, so they did some smoothing out of that. Let's see. They have now sirens at West Hill Pits. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's showing like sirens when you have a car coming out or not. That'd be kind of a cool thing. Audio changes. They have more accurate horn. Let's see, minimal volume for play and soundbar. So Doppler effects to all car sounds. So yeah, just a lot of little tweaks to the Live for Speed this time around.
Yeah, and they're still alive. Avenger. By the way, Richard, thank you for your help with American Truck Simulator. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Avenger 76 here in chat. It's funny, John and I talked about this too. On a daily basis, people come to us for tips. What wheels should I get? Is this PC going to work? We go to Richard McNaughton when we have tech issues and we want something tried to sort out. So anyway, I hit Richard up and asked for help. I couldn't get my Sim Instruments dash to work with, and I still can't, with American Truck Simulator. And because I saw he had it working with Fana LEDs. Anyway, reason why I was talking about it, he said it's DX9 Live for Speed. Well, I was thinking about it anyway. I wanted to thank Richard for trying to help me get that up and running. I still couldn't get it up and running, but I did get my Android. I have an old Samsung S3, Galaxy S3 that I got my dash up. You guys may remember, or if you watched the beginning of the show, you would have seen that. Anyway, back to the show.
So, I guess, we'll stick a pin in Live for Speed.
Yeah.
Next topic. There is a new hardware company out there called CSIO Technologies with a new product that is an 18-speed Eaton shifter that's pretty much they've taken from a truck's bin, parts bin, and is converting for sim racing.
Yeah. That's really cool. They reached out to us, too. They want to get us one. That's their prototype, and they wanted to get it from this box setup to what you saw initially here with just a chip. So it's all integrated in the knob, and it's going to be compatible with the TH8A. Did you already say that?
Nope.
TH8A shifter and the Logitech shifters.
Yes.
So, I had a lot of people ask me about that Dash app that I was just talking about too. Anyway, let's not get. Well, we're talking about American Truck Simulator. DH Paradox. I got to post it in the description of that show. I've had at least 5 people ask for that Dash app. Just go Google ETS2 or ATS Dash app, and it comes up. You can get it on Google Play.
Well, we'll talk about more when we got the video. One thing I want to hit real quick is they have a Kickstarter. These guys
up to $10,000,
and they have That
was at 8 yesterday.
It was at 8 yesterday.
Damn.
So maybe they got the Inside Sim Racing bump. I blogged about this yesterday. Even though I will say the American Truck Simulator shared this on Facebook. But yeah, they were going for 6,000 and now over 10,000. And I don't know. Let's see if they got any more available. As far as you still have a chance to back and actually get the shifter once they have the final version made. So as we showed with the pictures earlier, it's kind of a Franken rig type situation. They stole a board off like a Logitech controller or something for the USB connections. So they needed the money, the $6,000, to go and do it right and release a proper product. So yeah, you can go, and even though they've reached their goals, you can maybe you can get it cheaper at $100. I don't know how much they're planning on selling it for.
Travis just posted in chat, "Stay away from that, John. This requires smooth shifting, bro. John the gear masher."
Well, you'll be really bad if I have it. I'm not sure. In the video, he has the shifter mounted on like a truck, like a real proper truck shaft,
and it's like shaft.
And it's like if I'm rowing with, it's like
you're gonna like rip it off.
I'm gonna bend it.
Someone also said I need to do a reenactment of the movie Duel. No,
I haven't seen Duel.
You're too young. It was out when I was a kid. Anyway, it's about a dude in a truck, phantom guy in a truck that's chasing after another guy in a car, and it's called The Duel. Anyway. But
yeah, so it'll be. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're planning when they come out with the final version to have it be the tall truck gear shifter. I hope it is though.
He told me that you can get it. I think he was gonna send it to us.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna offer it, I think, as an option.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
You know what? That community is gigantic.
Yeah, what were some of the numbers you were seeing yesterday?
So I was playing. Man, I have been jonesing on that game. I friggin' simulation. It is really a true sim. I love it, man. Last 2 nights in a row. My wife's out of town. I was up till 2 a.m. playing that. But yeah, I checked. I went into either the World of Trucks site or something. It showed like how many people were playing right now. The night before, 11,000 people were playing at the same time, and then last night it was super late. There was like 6,000 people playing.
Yeah.
So.
And I gotta remember. I gotta go back and check their Steam sales because I think we talked about in the first week they had like 500,000 sales or something insane. And I want to see where it's at now. Of course, when it's only $20 and it's really good, I mean it sells itself.
Yeah, it does. It's awesome. I mean, again, I said in that video, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I said Dennis Weaver was in the Duel. That's right. I said in that video last night that there's a lot more to it than just driving from point A to point B. You know, you're not just picking up a load and driving it somewhere and dropping it off. You got your whole trucking business to manage. Like I bought my first truck and I had to get a bank loan to buy my first truck. And you basically start at the bottom. You know, my truck only has like 370 horsepower. It's just a 10-speed where you can get up to that 18-speed range shifter. Travis, you're gonna have to educate me on trucking, buddy, when I come to Dallas for iRace for Life. But no, I didn't pick up any hitchhikers. But anyway, it's a deep title. Like John was asking me last night, he's like, "How far into it are you?" I'm like, I've just scratched the surface. I got to like level 6 last night, and there is just so much more to do. I've actually covered 30% of the map.
Okay.
Already, but they're going to be, they're going to expand out to Arizona. I'm hoping they expand out to a lot of the states.
Yeah.
A lot of the United States. 'Cause right now it's just in California and Nevada. Anyway, we're getting off subject. We were on subject.
No, we're
talking about the shifter knob.
We're on subject. And I bet, what I'm interested in, it'll probably just make shifting that much easier. Because the whole thing right now of having to go and go through 6 gears, press the button for your next gear set, and then press a different button.
Versus just having it right there?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
That's going to be so much easier.
It's going to be sweet. So, anyway, great to see that they met their Kickstarter goal.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're really looking forward to trying one out. And
it's cool to see another hardware company out there. I mean, they popping up like weeds these days. I saw these guys out in Minneapolis, so that's cool. I went to college in Minnesota, so go Twins.
How many baseball teams do you have? Like 10?
Plenty. I should probably say go Vikes, but they just they already lost. But yes, the Minnesota teams are part of my long list of teams.
Every time a sport's coming to the playoffs, John's got like the March Madness NCAA basketball here on the. How many? You had 4 teams.
Yeah, I claimed Wichita State because that's the only school I actually went to. They have my money. University of Dayton, lived there, and then Gonzaga here. And did I claim anyone else?
I thought there was a 4th one.
That might have been.
Anyway, we're off.
That might have been it.
We're off topic. Hey, John's got like multiple teams in every sport. I kind of just try to stick to one.
Well, That's my reward for moving all the time.
You know why I have to stick to one? I get so invested in you hear me yelling like when Gonzaga was playing. You know, I became a fan of Gonzaga. That's our big team here in Spokane. But I get so pissed off when something happens bad against my team. It's like I'd have a friggin' heart attack if I was rooting for more than one team. Anyway, next topic. So we talked about sim centers last week.
Yes.
And we had like 3 or 4 different people reach out to us. And thank you guys for reaching out to us. Do we have any? Can we pull any of these up in the?
Yeah. Let me pull this first one up, which is someone who hit me up back. This DreamLAN in Michigan, and where's his name? I'm missing. Oh, there it is. Jerry Watson. He reached out to me on our forums back, I believe, in February, and was kind of like, "Hey, I got a sim racing thing." There's Jerry in a funny Photoshop thing over Tony Stewart in his car. But yeah, he has this DreamLAN.
That old school keyboard.
Yeah, and he I think let's see, what does he say here? They run some interesting titles. They run American Stock Car and ARCA Sim Racing X. And I guess they were allowed to go and kind of play around and run mods and stuff like that. But
ARCA's like open source now. I mean, ARCA's,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think you can get it for free, or maybe you still have to buy it. But I don't know. It may be free. Look at this.
Yeah,
I love this.
Photoshop he was telling me these are both free, so it is free. I love the Photoshop. But he said he has 8 homemade rigs, 6 gaming PC desk. Let's see, G27 total total 14 racing PCs. I like they got the monitor up so people can come and watch. And I can't fully figure it out. It's almost kind of looks like a little bit like a race and bar and hang out.
It does. It looks like a pub.
It kind of does, but like they go and they race every Wednesday night, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this a lot. This is kind of what we were talking about with the sim centers. It'd make a lot of sense if people don't have this at home. They come to a place every week, and we get together and race, and maybe have a beer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you're gonna see so you haven't been to something like this.
No.
I mean, wait. You're gonna really enjoy iRace for Life.
Yes.
Because it's like that on steroids. Because I mean, you get to see, like, Travis will be there with his rig, Tim Hansford will be there with his rig, and all these guys bring their own rigs, and it's a spectacle having all those chassis and everybody racing at the same time. It's awesome. And this year, what we've talked about it, we're going to be doing some racing ourselves. So by the way, if you're in that area and can make it, again, it's the end of this month, or end of next month, April 27th through the 29th in Dallas. And if you can make it and join us there, please try to, because it's going to be a lot of fun. iRaceforlife.org to sign up, and it's free, which is can't beat free.
Can't beat free, and they'll even feed you, which is
And if you can't bring your own rig, we're going to have rigs set up there that you can drive. Stage 4, we're going to have a Stage 4 set up to drive, plus at least 5 or 6 other rigs, and other people will let you just drive their rigs too.
Yeah, so nope, it's I can't wait for it. And then also we had a few, and then like Darren was alluding to, we had a few emails during the week after our story from last week, and got this cool one from Paul Bennett, who said he just watched the March 23rd show, said he was visiting his son in Bucharest last week, and said that there was 2 sim centers there, or 2 sim centers in the UK, Let's Race and Race Zone, and he actually sent me this link. Let me pull it up, make it go live here, of race centers. I think it went live. There it is. RaceCenters.com, which actually has a pretty extensive list of different race centers around the world. So this is definitely an interesting way if you're traveling and want to see if there's.
Look at Great Britain.
And that makes sense. I mean, the UK, you guys over there just love your racing, which is awesome. Decent amount of Hong Kong. And
what about United States? Is there? There we go. That's cool.
They got a handful. So the one at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, I think that's still open. They just.
As far as I know, it's still open.
They run iRacing in the cars.
Yeah, I know the guy that runs it. I mean, I went there, and it's awesome. That's a great setup.
Yep. So nope, that's pretty cool to see that list. I believe let's see, we had a couple other emails. Paul Harris talked about the Let's Race in the UK is a good one, and also Race Zone, a couple of those that were on the list.
Did you have a link for another one?
Actually,
I thought I saw one in there.
Actually, you're right, I did. Let me pull that up. Oh yeah, and this was one.
You Race Simway.
This is from Dave Hills, which You Race Simway, which is here in the U.S. And they have they run iRacing, and then I think he also said they run Roller Coaster, one of the Roller Coaster Tycoons. They have an Oculus, and I believe this is the one, if I remember. Those are some awfully big monitors. Look like they're using the same monitor stands we have.
The R-Seat.
The R-Seat ones, yeah. And I believe, this is the one that has the trailer where people can come, they can go different places, people come in and race, which is actually a really good idea.
It is. You know, I think, for a lot of these companies to be successful, in my opinion, they need to offer something else.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if they're getting the foot traffic, great for them. I mean,
Yes.
I think that's awesome. I think you really need to be located in the right spot, though. Scott Holmes was telling me that he went to a track in Arizona, and they had a sim setup there.
Okay.
So having it in the right location means a lot. Doing something like this guy, where you can take it out mobile.
Yeah, and someone here in chat, Fastastic, said he runs a mobile sim rig too in the UK, gets about 10 people a week. So
Nice.
no, I think the mobile makes a lot of sense, because then you can go to like different, block parties or neighborhood things or different events. Maybe it's a food truck rally, and you can go there and set up, and then get a lot of people.
You know what? I was thinking about opening a sim center. And I had a full business plan on doing it, and we were going to integrate the show with it. And one of my ideas for it, and now I can share it publicly because I'm not going to do it, was to do like a sim racing hobby shop too. So
Yeah.
not only just have people that can sim race there, but that could also you could also make custom rigs for, maybe sell some of the the off the shelf type rigs.
Yeah.
Have Thrustmaster products in stock, Fanatic, Logitech, so you can basically run it as a hobby shop. Don't carry a ton of products.
Yeah.
Just replenish as you need to, or even place orders as you need to, but run it as a hobby shop. And then I was also thinking about having it as a driver's training area, because there's some states that will license out or do like a license, or what's the word I'm looking for, like certify different places to do driver's training in a simulated setup. Because think about it too. When a kid's learning how to drive, doing the coordination with their feet, and I mean they're driving a stick. That's which is pretty rare nowadays. But but just getting the hang of how to turn the car, and using your feet on the gas pedal, and using one foot, gas and brake.
Yeah.
So anyway.
No, there was someone who, I believe it was in the YouTube comments of last week's live show, I didn't catch a name, said, I think it was him, who he owned a place where they did do some Sim Center stuff, but now it's just gone purely to driver's training.
Yeah, I saw that
which,
too.
That makes sense.
Yep. So did we talk about our poll?
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, and now I want to go back to it and see where it's at. So I got it pulled up here, and our poll question this week. Oh, by the way, there was someone on, it was YouTube or Twitter, who had a really good poll question that I said I was going to do this week, and I pushed it to next week. But it's still a good poll question, still going to do it. Already have it in the notes for next week. But this week's question is, what wheel brand did you use in March 2014 and 2011? So I'm going to come in here and vote. I was using a Logitech at both times. Wow, there we go. So far, back in 2014, 50% were using Logitech. If you remember back to our poll a couple weeks ago, it's now at 50% Thrustmaster and like 20% Logitech. And now in this poll, Logitech's at 52, Thrustmaster 25, Fanatic 18.
Oh, someone was saying the polls doubled up because there's two different polls.
There's two different polls, yes. And then the second poll, so that was 2014. Let's see, and I was still using Logitech in 2011. 70% in 2011 were using Logitech.
Wow.
So far, people watching live. If you're watching this later on, please join the poll, and we'll take a look at it next week.
Well, I think it was at the end of 2011 is when the T500 came out.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that'd make a difference.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That make.
Or maybe it was the beginning of 2011. Maybe that makes more sense.
Yeah, it was whenever Forza. I thought Forza came out December 2010. So it should have been out for that, I believe. But we'll have to double check.
So someone just asked, they must have come into the show late, do you have any information of why FOM made Ritza take Automobilista off Steam? We talked about that on the at the top of the show. Copyright infringement, something to do with it.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, so now we're on to questions. Unless you want to show a little more of that video of you driving.
Yeah, let's talk. Well, we can talk about that. Well, we had the happenings. So
yeah, let's talk
so
about
we
some
did
happenings.
just came out with this last night, and this was me driving American Truck Simulator.
Yes.
Which is my new favorite.
New favorite thing ever.
Yeah, I love playing this game. And what's cool about it, I got the motion. You know, I got full motion going, and it's, you know, the motion isn't crazy in it, but I mean, you can feel the bumps and, you know, and anyway, I freaking love this title. This title is a lot of fun, and you. Funny thing is, you said you kind of look over my shoulder once in a while I'm playing, and you said, man, if I started playing that, I'll get too wrapped up into it.
Yeah, there's no going back. But yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, I always mentioned it's not like a ton of movement with the Stage 4, but I always love seeing the seat move with the gear changes because it's always so exaggerated, which it would be driving a truck. You know, especially because a lot of times I believe they're on air seats.
Yeah.
Like kind of like how like bus drivers are. And then we're seeing that Dash app. And what is that called again?
You know what, let me look it up really quick so I can tell people. Maybe put a link in our chat here.
Yeah, since we got a lot of people wondering about that. But that is cool. I mean, and a lot of you guys know. I'll do a video on this sometime here in the future because I get so many questions. Anytime I run the little phone holder thing that I run when I run the Thrustmaster 599 rim, get tons of questions. You know, what is that, and what app are you running on your phone? And so I love running apps on the phone and being able to put it either on your wheel or in this case, right off to the side.
Yeah, so that was an old phone of mine that, oh, wait a second. I had too many characters there. I got to go to the actual link. Yeah, so I had a Samsung Galaxy S3 that I no longer used and basically pulled it out and charged it. The thing was dead as a doornail. That is the Dash app I used. I just put a link to it in chat. Oh, we're not showing chat. Oh, people can see it.
People live can see chat.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I should go put a link to that while I'm thinking about it in the show, that actual show. But yeah, so I grabbed that, and it's awesome that you got like 6 different dashboards you can use. That was my favorite because that gave you the most detail. And it's awesome. You know, I would like to have it a little up higher, but it works for me from what I'm doing. I mean, it's down a little bit low. I mean, I'd honestly like to have a tablet so it's a lot bigger.
Tablet would be cool.
Yeah. But I gotta say, for DX9 graphics in American Truck Simulator, they look freaking great. I mean, I was showing John yesterday some rain effects and how you can do the windshield wipers intermittently or have them on full, and it's so well done. Anyway, I freaking love this game. I'm like addicted to it. My wife's gonna come back into town and she's gonna be like, are you playing that game again?
Why are you still playing that game again?
Did you hear me? You heard it last night. You can play the radio. You play internet radio stations.
Yeah. That's always really cool.
And I got my button box set up on the rotary encoders to where one switches the channel and one switches or does the volume.
Okay.
So I got like my full truck cockpit going, man. I was thinking I just need like a freaking a pull down air horn.
That'd be funny. Hey, thank you, XSplit. You decided to not freeze on us.
Why? Was it about to lock?
For a second, it was not responding.
Uh-oh.
But you guys are all still here in chat, so hey, we're doing it. Live YouTubing is so live. As far as what I've been up to, I think Darren mentioned at the top of the show, going to be releasing a video comparing the new RaceRoom Nordschleife to the iRacing and Assetto Corsa versions. Not sure if I'm going to show all 3 at once because screen real estate gets kind of tight, and I want you guys to visually see the differences, and I'll do a voiceover so you can get my opinion, because there definitely are some differences, kind of surprising. So if I don't do that, I'll probably release 2 videos, one comparing it to iRacing, one comparing it to Assetto Corsa, and I'll have that out whenever they release the track, since I don't want to release that before the track's out. But it's supposed to be, rumor has it, from what stalking the Sector 3 Studios forums, it sounds like the patch is going to be coming out tomorrow in RaceRoom, and then Nordschleife should be coming out the next day, or like in the middle of the night. JF mentioned they do that to kind of keep the traffic down on the website. So yeah, excited for you guys to try that out. And I love the Nordschleife. I'm right there with Mark on that one.
Aussie Stig.
With Aussie Stig. I love it. I love doing laps there, and it's been fun. Been fun driving it again and seeing a different iteration of it. And I think Sector 3's done some really nice things with it, especially environment-wise. Like it's pretty cool looking. So
You got another female admirer.
I do.
Bone Racer, greetings from my daughter to John. Hi, Bone Racer's daughter. Say hi.
Hi, Bone Racer's daughter.
What's your daughter's name? John will give her a shout out.
Yes. I saw
the Musketeer.
I saw Angela in here stalking earlier, making wise crack remarks. She saw the Sim Center. She's like, "That's the next business venture."
One at a time.
Good dashboard apps on iOS. So while we're talking about it, let me check.
So we're officially in Q&A now.
We're officially in Q&A, so the show's officially off the rails. For iRacing, I use the Fast Dash app. And I use it in iRacing and Assetto Corsa. So the Fast Dash, I think it's the Fast Dash iRacing app and the Fast Dash Assetto Corsa app, if it stops bugging me. But yeah, no, it pretty much gives all the important information. That's not too bad. It does always run that ad in the bottom, which is annoying. There we go, over here.
Can you pay for it?
No, this is a free app.
Angela's still in chat. Somebody said Angela ain't gonna like that. And Angela said, it's okay. Hey, Angela. Now I can say hi to you because I've met you in person.
So that's a free app on iOS if you want to run iRacing and Assetto Corsa. Outside of that, I haven't checked any of the other ones out. I will say, like Darren brought up about his S3, for how often we change cell phones these days, keep your old phone and use it as a permanent dash app.
Yes.
Mount it to your wheel permanently, mount it above the wheel, whatever. But I mean, you're not really going to find much better screens out there than, the cell phones. I mean, somehow I'm still running my iPhone 5 as my phone, somehow. But when I finally do get a new phone, this will permanently be on my rig. So, well, we'll see. The battery life is pretty terrible these days. But once I turn off all cell phone services and all that kind of stuff, hopefully
you could just get a new battery for it.
It's not too bad. Well,
at this point, you're going to get another phone.
Except with Apple, since it's all internal, they charge you a whole bunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have an external.
What a racket!
This isn't Android world.
I could get one for my.
Yes.
Well, I got that thing plugged in, so I don't even have to worry about battery. That S3.
Yeah.
We got lots of questions.
Good.
Good on one hand. I'm freaking. Did you eat today? I'm starving.
No, I didn't. I'd never eat. I should. Well, let's see. What time is it now?
2:17.
2:17. Well, let's see if we can do. Can you make it 20 minutes? 30?
Yeah. No, I can make it. I'm good.
Okay.
I may go grab a snack.
Sounds good.
Let you do some questions.
So this was a question. First question is one from Brock Harvey on Twitter that I did not get to last week. And by the way, Brock, I've caught up on the VA Supercar season. I know he does some. He sent me like a podcast or a radio call in where he talked. He kind of covers VA Supercars. So I'm caught up on the season. It's been a good season so far. I'm really excited about it. And he asked RaceRoom or Assetto Corsa, and I told him on Twitter, and I elaborate here. I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think RaceRoom is one of the best alternatives out there today in terms of content. They have a lot of cars and tracks that no one else has. As we talked about with the patch last week, they have significant updates coming. Assetto Corsa, on the same with the patch today, has significant updates coming as well. So I think offline racing, I prefer, probably offline and online at the moment, I prefer RaceRoom a little more. I think the AI currently is better in RaceRoom. Hopefully Assetto Corsa with this new update will get better, but we'll see. That's why it's the AI drinking game, because every update says it's done improvements, and it doesn't always improve as much as we hope. So now Assetto Corsa is less expensive. I mean, it's definitely a lot cheaper. The base, I don't know what it's going for on Steam these days, maybe $30, I believe. And then the different DLCs are like $10, and they have a fair amount of content. So Assetto Corsa is definitely the less expensive way to go. RaceRoom, when you're buying different content, does cost a bit more. So that's kind of the best I can give. Go check out the cars and tracks, see what you want to drive. Assetto Corsa laser scan tracks are very good. I like the physics of Assetto Corsa. RaceRoom, the tracks aren't laser scanned besides the new Nordschleife, but the tracks are still really well done. For not being laser scanned, they're probably the best non-laser scanned out there. I like RaceRoom's graphics a lot. Physics, I think I do prefer Assetto Corsa's a little more than RaceRoom. RaceRoom, I've been driving a lot this past week, and RaceRoom is still, it's a bit, it can be a bit floaty. That front end can be a bit, like where's my front tires at? So, but they're still both pretty solid. So that's my ramblings. Your turn.
Ramble on. My turn?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm grabbing, man, we are loaded with questions today. We got a ton.
Well, maybe we'll do more rapid fire instead of me talking for an hour.
Okay. Wayne Francis. Let's back up here. Redline Rossi, we answered your question. We got console coming. Tom Jones, Q&A. Is the Fanatec CSW V2 twice as good as the Thrustmaster TX3 or Thrustmaster T300 wheelbase? He's already got the pedals. Twice as good?
Twice as good?
I wouldn't say twice as good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say twice.
I'd say it's a step up for sure.
It is. I think both of them just, even though I'm maybe alluding to the price, because the price might be about double. But I think they both justify for. I think the Thrustmaster definitely justified for the price, and the Fanatec, it's not cheap, but I think it's worth it. I think if you can afford it,
yeah,
it's a good way. It's a good way to go.
Well, and I think the Fanatec offers more realistic rims. Like that rim that you guys saw me driving American Truck Simulator with, that's a Fanatec classic rim, which I love. It's a great rim.
Uh-huh.
So Fanatec makes some great rims to go along with that setup. So, force feedback-wise, I wouldn't say it's twice as good. But build quality and the materials, I would say it's twice as good.
Yeah.
Wayne Francis, I'm thinking of buying my first rig. Would you recommend a GT Omega Pro with triple screens?
A GT Omega Pro.
Did you try that before we shipped it off to Scott?
Well, I tried the GT Omega Pro.
Yeah, it was sitting there for a while.
Yeah, and I like it a lot.
That's a great rig.
It's a great rig. It's a great rig. GT Omega, my favorite seats out there.
GT Omega office chairs.
Yes.
No, that's a quality rig, and I would highly recommend it. So yes, to answer your question. Rapid fire.
Man, I'm trying to find the questions.
Leo Hervinen, I'll just keep going. How do you see the future of budget-friendly wheel sets, Thrustmaster, etc.? What areas do you think needs most improving, and are there some specific new features you'd like to see in the near future? I would say on the budget side, better pedals.
Yes.
From Thrustmaster.
Yeah, I think the wheels, like Thrustmaster-wise, the wheels are good.
Yeah.
Like for the price points, even the T150 for the price point, $200, it's a really good wheel.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be some improvement on the pedal side of things. But again, you can upgrade. $99, you can get a set of T3 PAs, and it plugs into any one of those bases.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they're covering pretty much everything. We're in like the golden age of sim racing right now, and we've got so many options on the hardware and the software side that you really can't go wrong. Whether you're starting on a budget or you're buying a Club Sport or an AccuForce Pro, you just have so many options. I think we're in the golden age of sim racing right now.
We are. Next question, Michael Schumann. How are the sounds on Dirt Rally or Assetto Corsa? Are they in more realistic like Project Cars or generic like Forza and Gran Turismo? Thanks, guys. Well, I'm going to take a little bit of a difference on some of those statements. Dirt Rally, I think sounds overall are good. I wouldn't say great, but I think they're solid. Assetto Corsa sounds, not a big fan of. Hopefully they get better. Again, that's something they've been working on with F-Mod. But honestly, I haven't seen an F-Mod title that I've really been impressed with. Assetto Corsa has F-Mod. Sebastian Loeb has F-Mod. And it's like
iRacing had it for a while, and they dumped it.
They dumped it. They said
Yeah.
they started going down that path at F-Mod, and they were like, it's not good enough. Like, it doesn't capture what we need it to do. So, yeah, someone else had F-Mod that was kind of like, eh. So I'm not too big on Assetto Corsa sounds. I hope they get better. Project Car sounds are, I would again call them kind of like solid, good. Forza sounds aren't bad. I don't know if I'd call them generic. Gran Turismo is a vacuum cleaner. We all know that.
They're horrible.
Gran Turismo is the worst.
Forza sounds are really good.
Yeah, I think Forza does sound good. So yeah. But yeah, Assetto Corsa, I don't know. If I had to start from the bottom, I go Gran Turismo on sounds, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, Sebastian Loeb, Project Cars, Dirt Rally, somewhere there in the middle. At the top, RaceRoom. Under RaceRoom now, iRacing. iRacing's gotten a lot better. So that's kind of a general list of how I would rank the sounds.
Wayne Francis, congratulations on your 4-year anniversary for you and your wife. He got to leave the restaurant early so he can come watch the show.
Oh, thank you. That is good.
So
very impressive.
Yeah, and congratulations to you and your wife on 4 years. That's awesome. All right, next question.
Wayne Francis, Darren.
Say Wayne Francis.
Yes. Darren and John, are you looking forward to Forza coming out on the PC, and what are you expecting or hoping for? Excited for it. Gonna have low expectations. We talked about it a couple of weeks on the show a few weeks ago. There's kind of a question of will it have wheel support? It's we know it's a stripped down version of the title, so it doesn't have the most amount of content. It can be played in 4K, but could it be played in like triples? That'd be cool. So there's a lot of questions. So low expectations for me.
Yeah, low expectations with high hopes.
Yes.
For it to really, turn into a
eventually become
top-notch title on the PC. I mean, we've been wanting it on a lot of people have been wanting it on the PC for a long time. I love Forza. There's no secret about that, and I would love to see it turn into a true PC racing title. Mm-hmm. We need something like that on the PC. There isn't anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the race rooms and the project cars, they get kind of close, but there's just nothing like that on the PC. And again, I love it. Okay.
Stevie.
You go ahead and take it.
Okay. Stevie Jemza22. Darren John, what real-world circuit would you like to race, and what car would you choose? Thanks. I assume race out in the real world?
Yeah.
Let's jump in a car.
I know my answer to that.
What's your answer then? I gotta think.
I would love to run at Le Mans in a prototype.
I would like to run Bathurst in a V8 supercar.
That's a good one too. You know what else I would love to run? Indy in an Indy car.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I would love to go around Indy at 200 plus miles an hour.
I've been around at about 10 miles an hour in the little tour bus.
Yeah, I think that would be freaking awesome.
That would be. Let's see, Christopher Draper.
That was a really good question. I like that.
That was a good question. Christopher Draper.
Not that there's all great questions.
Yes.
That one was really cool.
You are all winners.
Yes.
You all get participation trophies. Christopher Draper, do you think it was the real Rubens Barrichello practicing on iRacing Renault the other evening? Would be cool if it was. He was 8 seconds faster than me.
It is him.
It is him.
And so people were thinking that he was using his that him and his son were sharing the account. Somebody at iRacing said no, his son's got a separate account too.
Yeah.
So that is the real Rubens Barrichello, and Scott, our buddy Scott, raced against him the other night.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. And then I saw on Twitter, Parker Kligerman said, it was retweeted by iRacing. He said, like, when you're in a room with Rubens Barrichello. So he was in there racing the Formula Renault, and yeah, I mean, Rubens an avid sim racer. He's been in it for years. I mean, when GameStop Car 2013 came out, he was kind of doing promotional videos for them and stuff like that. And he's on iRacing, and his son's on there. And
So you just mentioned Parker Kligerman. You were
Yes.
going through our forum our forum members
Yeah.
list, and you saw his name on there.
I saw his name. He was like forum member 33 back in 2007, 8, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
As we had a forum for our league. SSCA was our league, and we basically converted that forum over into the Inside Sim Racing forums.
Yeah.
And then just kept growing it from there. So I think we had transferred some of that database, which, I mean, it wasn't many. I think we had maybe 100 people. When we up to almost 30,000 people on our forums now?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're over 30,000 members.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Your boy Greg, man, your boy. Just want to know if Gran Turismo Sport is real or a myth. As far as we know, it's real.
It's real. We just haven't seen it yet. Oh, what was kind of interesting, too, is there was no mention of it at all at GDC this year. What does GDC stand for?
Game Developers Conference.
Well, and that came up because that's when they pretty much did the whole Sony VR announcement and talked about different titles and stuff, but Gran Turismo was nowhere. And we know that's going to be a launch. Well, it was supposed to be, they were kind of saying earlier in the year that it's going to be when VR comes out, GT Sports supported and all that kind of stuff, and now, I don't know. Gran Turismo gets delayed every time. Every single time a new one comes out, every 10 years, it feels like, it gets delayed. So, I don't know. It's Gran Turismo. It's frustrating. Because, God, I love Gran Turismo 4. Played the hell out of that game.
I loved Gran Turismo 5. I played the crap out of that. I finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was part of the show. We wanted to make sure that we covered it in depth. And I finished it. I didn't finish it on the. Anyway, I pretty much finished it. You can do B-Spec racing. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Finished it on B-Spec. Got all the way through it, but we didn't get through the all the endurance races.
Well, because the end's always it's a 24-hour race, right?
Yeah.
At Le Mans.
We did a 4-hour. Or me, Tommy, and Sean did like a 4-hour race. But we were gonna do the longer ones, but you know the 4-hour was a bore fest. We lapped the whole field like multiple times.
No, me, because I played it heavily in high school, and then I went to college, and me and my roommate Fred, we started running it together doing the endurance races, and it'd be like you taking a drive for an hour. So.
Scott said he raced against AJ Allmendinger and Rubens the other night in the same.
AJ was in the room we were in the other day. If it was him, I don't know if Allmendinger on iRacing is number 1 or 2.
Well, maybe he has 2 accounts.
Go plug the camera in so we don't lose signal. we got the camera flashing at us the battery. There we go.
Shoot.
We just didn't quite have it plugged in all the way there.
We would have gone dead.
Yeah. Let's see. Tom Jones again, I believe.
By the way, Peter, I have your question. You asked a few questions. I got both of them.
Oh, here we go. John, you have said before that you only do sim racing. What about flight sims? We were actually just talking about flight sims today.
Yep.
I don't remember how we got there, but I would like to try it out, but I honestly don't have time to invest into the flight sims. I mean, we have the rigs. I mean, we can definitely run hardware-wise. But yeah, I mean, I love cars. I love airplanes. My dad was in aerospace. He was on the B-2 bomber program when it was top secret back in the day.
No kidding?
Yeah.
I didn't know. You didn't
before,
tell me that.
Before I was born, he was working for Boeing, and they
was
had.
that the Skunk Works, or was that for the F-117?
Skunk Works F-117, but B-2. But
I know a little bit about planes.
You do, but no, the B-2 program is a Northrop program, but Boeing had a section of it, and he worked on it for a year. He didn't tell anyone what he did. My mom didn't know.
Yeah, that was top secret.
That's top secret. My mom didn't know what he did, and he said he worked 70 hours a week for a year straight and took 5 years off his life. And he was just like, and then, but yeah, no, it was a top secret program. And then eventually it leaked, and he was able to tell people what he did.
And I played flight sims before I got deep into sim racing.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got to do one or the other.
Yeah.
I can't do both. Otherwise, I will have absolutely no life.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I love flight simulators, and I would love to do it in stage 4. I don't know, traction loss really doesn't matter, but
yeah, it'd be interesting.
It'd be cool with the seat and stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I loved flight sims. I just don't have the time.
John's father knows about Area 51 and the aliens.
Peter, I'm going to answer one of your questions really quick. You're asking about the multi-monitor mod and how I got the GPS data in the front middle monitor. I just put a link to, it's called multi-mon config, and basically it's a configuration file that you edit, and it allows you to run true triple screen, so it's not the stretched image. Makes a big difference, and then it puts your GPS in the middle monitor. So anyway, that's how I did that.
Speaking of planes, even though I'm not doing simulators, I do collect die-cast airplanes. I have one 72nd scale Hobby Master metal jets. I got probably about a dozen of those. I'll have to find,
no kidding.
I got a picture somewhere. I'll have to maybe put it on the show next week.
That's cool. Yeah, I used to build plane models and stuff too. And I was talking to John. My favorite flight sim is doing World War II, combat. That was my favorite.
Let's see. Jasper Homeguard. Can you run Butt Kicker with SimVibe and the USB headset if you have 2 sound cards?
Some, yes. I've done it.
Okay.
You can do it. It is possible. Not all of them are compatible, but it is possible if you get the right one. I think I did it with the Logitech. I'm not even sure which.
So that comes down to the headset, whether or not it'll work?
I think it's the actual USB sound card.
Okay. Gotcha.
Whether or not that particular USB sound card works. Maybe if you set up your Butt Kicker setup that I bought for you.
It's on.
Still sitting, just laying under your chair. Now it's not going to happen until back to Ohio.
I know.
We got an announcement next week, by the way. So let's see. Let's keep going here because now I'm starting to get really hungry. Mr. Marco 1100, what is your guys' view on the Play Seat Challenge? John can't answer that because he didn't try it. So that's basically the one that looks like a lawn chair.
Oh, yeah.
Or a beach chair.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome. It was way better than I expected. I was expecting it to be a piece of junk, and that thing was freaking solid.
They still sell it?
I think so. That was a solid rig. And it was very affordable, and I think we put a T500 on it.
Wow.
And that thing's beefy. I mean, that thing weighs a lot, so it worked really good. Someone was asking me earlier, what am I going to eat? Whatever I can get my hands on at this point. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. I may just go run out and get a Subway sandwich or something, but...
let's see.
No, John's not getting married next week.
Steve, one of these days. Stevie Gemza 22.
Should we just announce what's going on?
We'll wait next week. I don't care. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the show. So... why don't you announce it since it's what you're doing?
Okay. So I'm going to be going back to Ohio, but staying with the show. Yes. So I'm going back to Ohio. Me and the girlfriend bought a house.
Congratulations for that, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's going to be work. And
they always are.
They always are.
John was talking about buying a lawnmower today.
They always are. And we have and part of the reason we've been in the house is it has a huge, massive room, bigger than this room, that's going to be used for...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you, big spender.
Anyway, so it has a large room for a studio and going to be shooting out of there. So I'll be taking equipment with me, getting more equipment, and I'll be doing videos from there.
We'll still be doing the live show.
We'll still be doing a live show. We'll just be doing it through, screens, essentially. Which, I've looked around on YouTube. Other people do that, and it works really well.
Well, you know what? There's a way to add a second camera in YouTube. We're going to have to experiment with that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to figure out the technical stuff, as always, as you guys know. But still be a live show. Yeah,
still be a live show. And now we're basically going to have one of us, well, you're not really on the East Coast. You're closer to the East Coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're basically going to run satellite. So just to back up a little bit, John moved here in Spokane. And he's been staying here with us in our house back in August of last year. So anyway, he's been here since then, and now it's time for him to go back home. And I'm going to miss him. It's not going to be the same doing this show, not sitting next to each other, and we've become great friends. But the show's going to go on, and we're going to keep doing it. We're just going to do it from satellite locations. And, I was thinking about, too, earlier, how are we going to do reviews?
I'll probably just have to take a review. I take a review. Or I even thought maybe doing sections.
Or we could do a live review, too.
Or we can maybe try to do that live review.
We talked about doing it.
We did.
So anyway, that's the announcement we're going to make next. So next week is our last live show together. And we may have one in the future if either I come to Ohio, which is definitely a possibility.
Sure, no, yeah, Ohio, or even I can see myself come back out here, once a year or whatever, and taking care of stuff. So, yeah, and I mean, well, especially when it's nice, especially when it's summertime here, get some lake time.
Yeah, for sure.
But
bring the family.
Bring the family out. Yeah. So, nope. So, yep. That's. I don't know why I just said nope. Then yep. But
nope. Yep. Anyways, that's next topic because now I'm really getting hungry. Where were we?
Let's see.
Forza Company, we did that. Your boy.
Oh, Peter Enzer asked, "You more addicted to American Truck Simulator or Fallout in its prime time?"
I finished Fallout, by the way. Definitely Fallout, man. I was seriously addicted to that game. I do like American Truck Simulator, though. I can see myself getting almost as addicted to it. I think a freaking... they just came out with DLC for Fallout.
Oh, did they?
So I may go back to that.
I hadn't heard much about it. I mean, it was such a big... I know you played it, and it was all like, Fallout, and I don't know if everyone just finished the game. But I haven't heard much about it recently.
And I loved this comment, this next one, DH Paradox. Darren, we should do a convoy soon. There is a multiplayer mod for American Truck Simulator. DH Paradox said, I need a Snickers. He's not himself. I do. But anyway, that would be cool doing a convoy. John was saying we should do the multiplayer and do some truck racing. I
think should set up a course in American Truck Simulator and get a bunch of guys side by side and go race.
Wait a second. I was thinking. See, my brain is. I'm like, it's 2:40. We've been doing for 2.5 hours. No, it's only been an hour and 40 minutes.
Let's see. Julian Kawabero Wag. Are you excited for F1 2016? Cautiously optimistic. 2015, physics-wise, was a big improvement.
Yes.
And force feedback felt great in 2015. Yep. Driving out was great on the Fanatic. So it's just working out the bugs. That's really what had to get worked out, the bugs. So hopefully they can do that, and 2016 can launch much more smoothly.
Yes, and Wayne Francis, no, Charlie is not going to be my next co-host. John is still the I mean, we're both co-hosts of the show. So
yeah.
John is staying on board. He's just going to be in Ohio. We'll work this out because Barnacles and Jay's 2 Cents, those guys do a split screen deal that works great.
Yeah, and that's what I was referencing. They do a live show that's entertaining, and yeah, they're not in the same place.
We'll figure it out.
So, we got technology.
Yep.
It can be done. Let's see. Tom Jones, was it John's idea for a live show? And Darren, were you on board right away or a little hesitant? I think the live show is great. It was your idea for the live show.
Well,
it was my idea for a podcast style show.
So it was kind of a combined thing. We've always been wanting to do a live show, but we didn't have the equipment. We ended up buying this camera. And so when John came to visit here, in July, I think.
Yeah.
And kind of was like an interview. So he came here and I think the day he was leaving, he's like, I'd really like to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about doing an audio only podcast. I don't think it's going to be that popular. I said, but if we could do a live show this week inside Sim Racing Live, that would be really cool because I've always been wanting to do that. So it was kind of John lit a fire under me to get an idea that I had been brewing for a long time going. So I think that answers all of your question there. And the only reason why I was hesitant is because I like to do things right, and when I say that, I like to have as high a quality show as possible, and I didn't want to do something through a webcam or something. So I wanted to go, as high end as we could.
Hey, don't kill the webcam. We might be doing that. They've gotten a lot better.
Look at Tony's webcam.
I know.
That interview.
Webcams have gotten a lot better.
They have.
For something like this, and I know you guys have even said in the past, don't worry too much about having fancy running at 60 frames. This isn't really about having it look great. It's about the interaction. So we'll take that to heart.
Yeah, we just answered. Somebody just had a F1 2014 question. I just deleted it, or 2016 question. It's in my brain. And I don't. We have no information on F1 2016 yet. Ender Brine 2323. When are you doing another Thrustmaster giveaway? As soon as possible. I'm supposed to be meeting with them next week to talk about our partnership for the balance of 2016. So hopefully we'll have another one of those soon.
Redline Rossi asks, have either of you reached number 1 or very high on a leaderboard in a sim? If so, which game? I've never been number 1 on a leaderboard. Early days of iRacing on the Truck Series, on the Oval, I was ranked fairly high.
I have been pre-release of a game.
Okay, there you go.
Actually, you know what? Going way back before online racing took off, I used to run offline stuff in IndyCar 2 by Papyrus and IndyCar 1, and I had the world record, and we're not talking a whole lot of people here, but I had the world record at Long Beach.
Wow.
And I think at Portland. Remember they used to run Portland?
Yep.
I had the world record of both of those tracks briefly. But that's old school, and I don't even know if I ran that. I think I ran that with a. No, I didn't even run that with a wheel. I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. But current no. And the only other time I've done it is pre-release, like in Forza. You know, they have the what's it called? I can't think of the name of it right now. I need food. Food.
It's like a leaderboard thing.
The Friends thing. Rivals.
Rivals. That's it. Yeah.
So I've been at the top of those, but no major leaderboards. I just don't spend enough time with it, and I just don't know if I can get there because some people just Jones on that.
Yeah.
Tom Jones.
Nicholas Bradshaw, any chance of you guys setting up a 3-way hot lap battle against Ray Alfala at Race for Life? Be a fun little thing to see on a couple of ovals. Only if I get a head start. I want a head start when I race them.
I don't want to embarrass myself.
10-second head start.
Yeah.
1 lap.
You know what? Maybe if we put him in something like that he doesn't run.
Put him in a Legends car.
Or like rally. Do like a rally stage and dirt rally. We're gonna have that stage 4 set up. That would be kind of fun to see.
Are we allowed to run dirt rally at iRace for Life?
We can run whatever we want. We're gonna be running different stuff in that stage 4. Anyway, I don't know if I want to embarrass myself. You know what would be kind of cool is put
Rallycross.
That would be cool. Put Ray Alfala against Wyatt Gooden.
Yeah.
You do a little head-to-head against those two. Ray Alfala did you know this? He raced not only in the NASCAR series, but also raced in the World Championship Grand Prix series on the F1 side.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's...
I mean, you see that some of those guys that can run both. It's like Greg Ahutu's oval record. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
He's like 19-20 or something insane.
19 wins.
Yeah, 19 wins, 20 attempts.
Yeah.
No, he's these guys who are aliens. They're aliens on all tracks.
Yes. What is the link for the sim room list you showed earlier?
Let me
put it in chat.
Yeah, let me find what that was again. Actually, I'll go.
Here, I can get it on the script here. I'll put it in chat.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Racecenters.com.
There it is.
Here, I just put it in chat for you.
Danger Boy 2069. I need to know how you guys feel about the Alienware computers with the 3 video cards, 1 for each monitor. That's the last piece of my build.
That thing must be a beast.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I mean, the interesting thing is that it's interesting that they're doing 1 monitor per card plug-in, because we had this conversation. I haven't fully figured out when you do a crossfire if everything's got to be in 1 card or you can break it up. You said no. Other things I've read online, I said it has to be in 1 card.
Not an SLI when I did it. Matter of fact, I needed both cards. I had 2 580s, and I needed both cards because there wasn't enough ports on it.
Yeah.
There was only 2 DVI ports, and I needed 2 on one and then 1 on the other, and that was the only way to run triples back then.
Yeah.
With Surround and NVIDIA. Mm-hmm. So Crossfire may be different, but I would imagine it's not.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about that. It sounds crazy.
Ricky Bobby. I mean, if it works.
If it works, it works.
Yeah. Ricky Bobby. Guys currently have a T500 considering upgrading to a CSW V2. How much stronger is the V2 compared to the T500? Would you say the biggest improvement of the V2 compared to the T500? I'd say the mechanism. I'd say force feedback strength is probably going to be pretty similar. But the mechanism on the CSW V2 is definitely smoother. But I'd say they're comparable as far as force feedback goes.
Yep. Oh, do you want to ask Do you want to answer Quinton's question?
Yeah, Quinton Vermeulen. And he said it's pronounced like Husingfeld. Vermeulen. Anyway. Darren, you were working on a button plate with Steven Spenceley. How is that project going? Steven has vertigo, and I guess he has a hard time doing much, and so that portion of his fabricating and modding has been very limited, so it kind of came to a standstill. I would still love to get it. I have a rim sitting here waiting for it, and not to pressure him, I'm not even sure if he's watching, but he just physically was unable to do it. So
yeah,
because I sent him a board from a TX rim for them to duplicate it, so you can get all the button functionality. So we can put a rim and use it on, the PS4 and the Xbox One, custom rim. But it just never happened. I wish it was.
This is a great question from Scott T. Darren, in past shows, you've called really fast sim racers aliens. Why and where did that come from?
That's a great question. I don't know why it goes way back.
And it was just a term that was just tossed around?
Yeah. Gregor Hutu is an alien. Because I think, I guess the way the definition of it would be, why is the guy so fast? He must be from another planet.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of where it came from.
And we know, no Simcades from Inside Sim Racing.
I think we coined that phrase.
Yeah.
We did not make up aliens. As a matter of fact, we didn't make up Simcade. Someone mentioned it, I think, in chat or something one time, or in comments, and then we started really pushing that phrase.
Now I hear developers using it all the time.
I know.
Let's see.
Out of this world driving.
Yes. Jay Myers, John Darren, have you ever drove on a real racetrack like Monaco or Nürburgring? I have real racetrack, I've only been on Charlotte Motor Speedway, driving the Mario Andretti experience, a little open wheel car.
I drove on, the Sturgis brothers or Ovalin Road.
Yes.
They're the oval version of the Ducarmos. But they one of them, I think it's PJ, runs in the Formula One series too.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Anyway, back to that question. I drove on Riverside International Raceway, which was in Southern California. NASCAR used to race there. IMSA used to race there. And I got to drive in a Skip Barber car there. I've driven on Willow Springs, which is not a major racetrack. Riverside used to be, but Willow Springs is fairly well known. I drove on the big track there, and then they have a little oval I drove a Legends car on. And then I drove on Streets of Willow in my Camaro and my motorcycle. And then I did a 2-seater ride at Infineon in an Indy car, which was insane.
I bet.
That was crazy. That's it for me as far as real-world track experience. And I'm going to be going to Spokane County Raceway here in the next couple weeks in my Camaro, which, again, is not a major. It's a local track, but it's I think it's a 2.5 mile or 3 mile road course with a freaking long ass front straight. I'm gonna get the Camaro hauling ass on that. So
my favorite question today. No, I'm not wearing eyeshadow.
What? John has not been getting much sleep.
Yeah. I don't know if it's sleep or whatever. Do you want this Peter answer?
I answered it.
Sorry.
I put his question in chat. He was asking about the how do I move the GPS to the center screen on American Truck Simulator.
Okay, that's right.
Someone was saying I should do a tutorial on it. It's really easy to do. You got to open. There's a file called config.config, config.cfg, and you open it in Notepad, and there's multi-mon entries. And that PDF that I sent out is kind of difficult to understand. And it took me a while. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Basically, you just edit that config file, and it works. So you got to change, I think you change your field of view, and I set my field of view at 50. And then there's a general entry that I set to 3, which tells it 3 monitors. I think you can even go to 4 monitors. But anyway, it's pretty simple to set up.
Okay. And I say we leave this as our last question, because the laptop just died.
Oh, the plug came out, huh?
Oh, yeah. So, but anyway, wrap it up anyway. Veneno and Yo-Yo Fook.
That was close.
I think that's what they were going for. What
You were close to dropping an F-bomb there.
I know. What's your preference? JCL 2B Faster or GT Omega? JCL is pretty sweet with the 80/20.
Yeah.
GT Omega Pro
is a great rig.
Super solid rig.
But extrusion tubing rigs are one of my favorites just because they're so configurable. As a matter of fact, I've already started attaching extrusion stuff to the Stage 4.
Yeah.
I've got my button box attached with it. I've got that dash, the Sim Instruments dash attached with it. My triple monitor stand is made of that. So anyway, that JCL 2B Faster is a great rig. And then if you're here in the States, there's 4Play Racing. They also do an extrusion tubing.
And everyone else and their cousins. Everyone's doing it these days.
One last question. It's that kid that Caden Bin that was on the show. Well, not wasn't on the show, but we had that video of him driving.
Yep.
Formula One or NASCAR?
I watch them all these days. NASCAR is probably going to be a more entertaining season than F1, I imagine.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes, NASCAR. I would rather watch a NASCAR race because you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part.
Yeah.
Formula One, it's like, okay, who might beat Mercedes this
Well,
week?
these years, yeah. I mean, there's some great years. I mean, 2007, 8, 10 were awesome years in Formula One where it was great watching because it had like 3 teams where 6 cars could win.
Well, even the year before Mercedes started dominating, Lotus won a race. You know, Red Bull
won most everything.
They were dominating, but there was some good competition. You know, that particular year.
Yeah.
I mean, for technology and, you know, I mean, if I was to drive, what I would prefer to race, let's say sim race, would probably be more on the Formula One side.
Yeah.
Even though I do love NASCAR oval racing as well, but I don't know. It's just, and I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR. I'm not a huge fan of Formula One. I can appreciate both. I usually
IndyCar. That's where it's at.
I do enjoy watching IndyCar racing.
Phoenix this weekend.
If I would probably prefer to watch like the 12 hours of Sebring or the 24 hours of Daytona over all of them. I mean, that's probably my preferred form of racing is sports car, you know, prototype and GT3 style racing, multi-class, endurance racing. Le Mans, I can't wait to see Le Mans.
Yeah.
You know, and one of my other favorite races is the Indy 500. It sucked for probably a decade. It used to be the shit. I mean, it used to be the biggest race in the world. And then when what was it? IRL took over. It was horrible.
Yep, the whole split with Tony George.
Yeah, and now it's gotten back to being more of a spectacle and being like one of the greatest race center. I mean, there used to be drivers from all over that would come to race that, you know, to run that race.
Yeah.
And it's starting to turn more into that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I was halfway thinking about getting tickets for the race this year, but it's like almost sold out.
I thought about it too.
I got to make friends.
Yeah, my friend who we showed his sim room.
Yeah.
And I can't think of his name because I'm like seriously out of brain energy here. He's going to the Indy 500 this year. So yeah, that's one race I want to go to. That being said, before I pass out here, we're going to wrap things up. Again, I'd like to welcome the Aussie Stig, Mark Puck, to the team. If you missed the show, go back and watch at the beginning. He is a new addition to the Inside Sim Racing team and is going to be doing blogging for us, hardware reviews, European correspondence, and it's great to have him on board. So, Mark, welcome to the team. And anyway, had lots of great news today. It was a good show. John's second to last show here in Spokane. So stay tuned next week to see our last show live together. Oh, we might do it in Dallas. We were talking about.
We'll be in Dallas.
No, we were talking about doing a live show from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, our last live show together until 2 weeks later.
Yeah, our last live show here, at least for now. We may do another one like
sometime down the road.
Exactly. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Always fun to chat with you guys in the chat room here. Give us a thumbs up if you like the show. We'd much appreciate it. And hey, do that poll. There's 2 polls up here. You know, we've been getting some great participation on those, and
please.
Yeah, do those polls because we like talking about it the next week. So for John Sable, I'm Darren Ganji. Thank you for watching.
Oh, turned the wrong one off.
What'd you do?
I broke it.